Here are the top 5 ways to beat the crowds at Universal Orlando Resort, whether it's Islands Adventure or Universal Studios, without having to pay an arm and a leg. If you don't know me, I live 20 minutes from the Universal parks here in Florida, and I come all the time. I've been coming to theme parks since I was a kid, so I gotcha. It's also spring break crowds right now with a lot of camps, schools, families, so I feel like it's the perfect time to demonstrate exactly how you can make the most out of your days here without spending an arm and a leg. By spending an arm and a leg, I mean buying the express pass, because it's like $200, $250. I'll have to check since it changes depending on how busy it is, so probably give me even more, which could literally be more than what you're paying nightly for one of the Universal Orlando hotels to stay here. First up is going to be Islands of Adventure, which if you come into Universal Studios, you're going to head toward the left. This is where all of the major thrill rides are. Like there's Hulk, there's Velocicoaster, Hagrid's. Just as an update, they recently updated the Universal app, which it honestly kind of sucked a bit, and now it is so amazing, so good, so many more searchable features, whereas before you had to scroll through endless amounts of lists to find things. So definitely download the Universal Studios app, the Orlando one, to keep track of wait times, like where the nearest restrooms are or the nearest food places are. Okay, Velocicoaster, right now it's like 1 p.m. and it is at 110-minute waits. Velocicoaster is one of the most thrill rides. It hangs you upside down. The restraints are very minimal, very, very much a thrill roller coaster. So tips to be able to get on this without having to wait 110 minutes. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come to early park admission. Early park admission is available to certain pass holders on specific days, as well as if you stay at different types of hotels, so Universal hotels. I would double check in the fine print just to make sure that early park admission is available if you stay at that specific hotel. During early park admission, only certain sections of the parks are open. So for instance here, Velocicoaster and Hagrid's area will be open. Hulk will not be open for early park admission, so that's something that you can't go on if you come for early park. You'll have to wait until the park opens at whatever time that is that day for you to be able to ride Hulk and be even let into that land of like Marvel area. Now, early park admission gets you in an hour before everybody else. So you want to be here before that hour even starts. So let's say the park opens at 9, early park admission is at 8. You want to get here at like 7:45 because it takes some time to park all the way from the garage all the way to the entrance, and then actually getting in to the entrance of the park could probably take you about 20-25 minutes. So keep that in mind as well. And what you're going to want to do is come and run straight to here. I know a lot of people run to Hagrid's, which is where I will go next, and that is a bad choice. Do not do that because everyone runs to it. The line gets really long, and early park admission ends up being a 3-hour wait, and you use up your 1 hour extra to just stand in line. Here, Velocicoaster early park admission, usually 25-minute wait, sometimes even no wait at all. I'll usually come for early park admission and never have to wait in line and ride it multiple times. So come here first. That's your tip number 1. But let's go over to Hagrid's for tip number 2. So there are also 2 Harry Potter areas as of right now, so make sure you go to the one that's in Islands of Adventure for Hagrid's. So Hagrid's right now is a 75-minute wait, which will speak to exactly what I mean by going on Velocicoaster first and Hagrid's second as point number 2. You're going to want to go on Hagrid's second because this is a 75-minute wait. The reason Velocicoaster is more is because everyone will rush onto Hagrid's in the morning, wait their 3 hours to get on. Everyone's already ridden Hagrid's, and now Velocicoaster is going to be a high wait, and normally people go from here to Velocicoaster. So what you're going to want to do is go to Velocicoaster first, then Hagrid's, because Hagrid's is only 75 minutes. Velocicoaster is 110. It's going to be way better of a wait for 75 minutes. But just keep that in mind. That's the same for early park admission, which is what I was saying earlier, is you're going to end up waiting 3 hours whether you're coming for early park admission or not for this ride. This ride also fluctuates a lot during the day. So if it's at a number that you are not liking, your kids will not be okay with waiting in that line, I would just wait for it. Also, weather permitting, of course, but I would just wait to watch it fluctuate. Just another little tidbit while we're walking over to our next area, we're going to give our number 3 tip. You can go ahead and grab a drink or a snack while you're waiting in line, especially if you are planning on waiting in line for something that is longer. I would make sure to grab some water, grab a butter beer, grab some snacks or drinks while you're waiting in line, and make sure you put everything in your lockers except for your snacks and drinks because you will have to dispose of those by the time you get on the ride. But if you want to just have something to drink, especially when the queue is outside, make sure to have something with you during the line that you're okay with throwing out. So nothing like a reusable water bottle, just like a regular water bottle that you can recycle, or a bag of snacks or something. Another tidbit too is right behind me is a butterbeer cart. There are 2 butterbeer carts in the Hogwarts land and Islands of Adventure, and the one that's over here near the bridge where you cross over the castle is right there where you head over to Jurassic Park, which is right here. There are 2 sides to that butterbeer cart, not just one, and most of the time both sides are open. So the one that falls into Hogwarts is usually way longer than the one that stretches out onto the bridge, because less people know about that.
Next up is River Adventure.
Another tip is normally water rides like this aren't too bad before summer. During summer the lines get kind of long. But what you're going to want to do is ride these in the morning, so that way you can dry off during the day. And normally in the morning, the water rides have the least amount of waits. 5-minute wait, maybe no wait at all. So if you're looking to cool off right in the morning and kind of stay wet, because I can almost guarantee you will dry off during the day, especially with how hot it is, ride this and Popeyes and Ripsaw Falls early in the morning. And that's obviously, of course, if you're not trying to ride Velocicoaster or Hagrid's in the morning. Also a mini tip, if you are trying to get soaked on this ride, which right now they're not, they're just running tests. If you're trying to get absolutely demolished on this ride, first 2 rows are best. After that, you're not really gonna get that wet, maybe just sprinkles of water, unless you try to sit at the edges, but it's kind of hard to plan that. Rides like Skull Island, Reign of Kong, and some similar ones like that are, in my opinion, pretty mid, except for maybe the animatronic at the end. These can get also up to waits of like 75 minutes, which is insane in my opinion. The good news is that it also fluctuates, but the thing that you can do with these, this is tip number 4, is for rides that are kind of similar to this, Fast and Furious, Skull Island, kind of in the middle rides, some rides that are not super duper popular, you can wait till the end of the night if you're willing to stick it out that long to ride these. Typically they will have extremely short waits. I wouldn't wait till the last 5 minutes to get in line, only because Universal does have a kind of history of sometimes closing down lines early so that they can actually close the ride down by the time the park closes. So I wouldn't risk it that much, but maybe like half an hour till the park closes. Come ride these, no wait at all. For all my friends and family who don't like to ride the rides and you are going to be waiting with bags or just waiting aside for family members to finish riding rides, there is a lot that you can do, especially around Toontown and Hogwarts Land, where you don't have to just kind of sit around and wait for people to finish riding the ride, because that is kind of boring, and especially if it's really hot out. What you're gonna wanna do is go around, grab a drink, grab a snack, explore the gift shops. They're very well themed, and there's just fun merch to look at. No one said you had to buy it, but if you want to, you know, I'm not stopping you. And specifically in the Popeye area, so if you have family members that decide that they want to get absolutely drenched, soaked, destroyed, and that's just something you're not interested in, you want to be dry all day, maybe a little sweaty, but dry all day, then let me show you exactly what you can do while you're waiting for your friends and family to get off of this. There is a fun little exploratory area. So heading in on this bridge from Toontown, the ride is going to be right there, but we're going to head straight. Also, just for proof, it's literally 10 minutes, so not a long wait at all. Me Ship the Olive is a fun, like, interactive playground that kids can run around with on the boat. So if you've got younger ones, you can definitely bring them here while you're waiting. It is toward the back, so it's definitely hidden, but just keep that in mind so you're not just like sitting around with the young ones. You can definitely come on here, which, by the way, Popeyes is a pretty good ride for really young kids too. There's lagoon viewing right here that you can actually walk to, and you can go look at Velocicoaster, Hulk, all this stuff, and we're gonna head all the way down there. So do you see what I mean by beautiful lagoon views? It's really nice here. You can watch your friends come on Velocicoaster. This is definitely a little bit of a walks away from the entrance of Velocicoaster, but if you want to just take a stroll down over here, I would recommend it. You could just chill, hang out, see if you can catch your friends in slow motion. It'd be a pretty cool shot on that corkscrew right there, the Mosasaurus roll. Over here, you've got Dr. Seuss area. You've got Forbidden area right there. Forbidden area because there's nothing there right now. It's just forbidden. No, it's not really. I'm just kidding. And then over there, you've got the entrance to Islands of Adventure. Then right there, we've got Hulk. It's also just a fun place to come explore, and there's literally nobody. So if you need to get away from the crowd, look at how dead it is here. So definitely a great spot to just come and explore. But back to beating wait times. Let's go over to Hulk. This isn't going to be a separate tip. This is just for all of the roller coasters. I'm going to bunch them together since we're still going to head over to Universal Studios for the last 2 tips. But essentially for Hulk also is a mid roller coaster. The roller coaster itself is really good. I mean middle, medium in terms of ride and wait time. So it's not something that's extremely popular. So if Velocicoaster and Hagrid's are not your speed forte, if that's just something you've ridden already and you want to try to get on Hulk instead, Hulk in the morning, no wait at all. Just wait to ride it at the end of the night if you don't want to wait a long time. If you notice, it's not really fluctuating throughout the day, but normally it does fluctuate a lot throughout the day depending on if people are going and eating lunch between 12 and 2 or like something like that. So just keep that in mind. That might just be an end of the day kind of ride as well. A little bit more on express passes in case you're interested. So they do go anywhere from $80 to $290. And it depends on whether you get it for one park or for 2. So if you have a park hopper, which basically means that you can hop between 2 parks, which is what I am doing right now. I'm walking over to the other park, which is like a 5-minute walk. If you want your express pass to also work in both parks on the same day, you will need to pay more, obviously. Universal Studios, which is to the right side when you would first walk in. Just showing you guys, Hollywood Riptide Rocket is one of another thrill coasters. It goes up 90 degrees, comes down almost 90 degrees, does not technically go upside down, but does do loop-de-loops. And basically it's at 35 minutes in the middle of the day. So if you ever see this one at a long wait, just wait for it. This one does go down quite a bit though, so keep that in mind as well. But yeah, 35 minutes, man. This is nothing for this ride. And that is going to be tip number 5, that Universal Studios usually isn't as busy as Islands of Adventure. So it's more chill, not as many thrill rides going on here. A lot of fun rides, just not as many super thrilling rides like at Islands of Adventure. Also not as popular as Islands of Adventure. Everyone goes to Islands of Adventure. So typically the rides here are going to be less weight, but that does not mean it can't go up to the hundreds. So let's go check out some other ones for the last tip. This is a all indoor roller coaster. So it may just look like a regular building right here, but it is actually an indoor roller coaster. Wait time is around 45 minutes right now, so it is a little bit long, but your final tip is to constantly check weather to maximize wait time. And here's what I mean by that. Constantly check your weather app and make sure it is updated. Make sure you're on the location that you're at, Orlando, Florida, but make sure you're checking for rain because it could just downpour at any second, even if the skies are clear, even if there's just a couple clouds. By the time you get off a ride, you might look up and it might look like it's about a downpour. So when you're checking the weather, you're gonna wanna time what rides you do that are indoors and outdoors. So if you see that it's gonna rain in the afternoon, make sure you do all the outdoor rides first. And the reason why I say to maximize wait time is because if you see that it's gonna start raining, by the time it's already started drizzling, everyone's sprinting over to any indoor ride so that they can maximize their time while also being indoors. But if you are just keeping a lookout and you can see it's going to rain in the next hour, start hitting all of your indoor rides. Hit Mummy, hit Men in Black, any of the indoor rides. Start hitting them because they are going to go up in weight significantly if it starts raining. Just as an extra tidbit, as we are heading out of the park to do our outro, make sure you are wearing sunscreen. I don't care if you think that you don't get sunburn, because you will get sunburn, and if you think you will not, then you will just get wrinkly. So make sure you're wearing your sunscreen. Bring sunglasses because the sun is so harsh. It's really hard to see. I need to get a fix on, or I need to get my contact lenses situation figured out so that I can start wearing sunglasses, or getting my prescription glasses, whatever I decide to do. And hats are really great, and waters. Make sure you are hydrated. Make sure you're not just drinking soda, any of the cocktails, fun drinks. Definitely indulge in those, but just make sure you're drinking a lot of water, okay? Okay, and those are all the 5 top tips for waiting in lines and beating crowds for some of the most popular rides, and also how to handle the mid/not so long waited line. Please let me know if you guys have any questions down below, and I'd love to help you if you have questions on a specific ride. Any way that I can to make sure you're getting the most of your time, especially since we're heading into, well, we're already in spring break season, but we're heading into summer break, which is gonna be so super crowded. Again, make sure you guys let me know if you have any comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful for you. Make sure you subscribe for more content just like this, because we will be continuing on here and we will be doing this in Disney as well. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I love y'all. Have a wonderful week and a magical month, and I'll see y'all in the next one.